with Paddle Central, and we've got Richard Ashforth and Egmond van Heerden versus Paul Anderson and Stephen Luke. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Obviously, all these guys have a high pedigree of paddle, some of the best paddle players in the country, and I think we're going to see a brilliant game. It's going to be first to 8, so guys have to be ready to go from the get-go, and hope you guys enjoy. We're here at Huddle Park. So Stephen Luke, I'm going to say probably one of the classiest looking players here, sponsored by Tactical Paddle. Shout out to Adam Wolf and Ryan Guan out there. And playing with him, we've got Paul Anderson. Paul Anderson, obviously Mr. Babelet, and was an unbelievable tennis player. Should be very good. Nice kick smash there by 1Egmond. 1Egmond's playing with a Valerian there. Some really nice brands out here, and I think it's part of the fun of paddle. It's a great smash by Richard. Really aggressive volley, putting the guys under a lot of pressure, and a really strong start by the boys here. Oh, out the court onto the roof. Unbelievable there. Paulie just unable to get his smash out, and it's a really strong start by Richard and 1Egmond. So obviously, for those of you who know, Richard and 1Egmond are 10 by 20 coaches, so 10 by 20 boys, really representing well, and we're good to go.
Hey, Dad, big boss.
It's a really good crowd out here. Must be a good 100 people watching here. If you're in the area, still a lot of paddle to be played, and come and have a watch here or carry on listening. My first kind of stint on commentary, so I hope I'm doing a good job. Great smash by Paul there. Paul's been playing beautifully today. Paul obviously lost in the finals of the competition last week at Racket and Ball Club, so he's going to be looking to go the whole way today. Oh, it's beautiful play by Stephen. And yes, Stephen with a beautiful smash, and he got, oh, it's just unbelievable. It's a great, brilliant point there. Different quality of paddle that's going on. Paulie, nice tactical smash there. Some chiquitas going on. Beautiful volley by Paul. Great play for Anderson. Paulie playing on the right hand side, yeah. They're 30-15 in this game. Stephen Luke, famous paddle player in South Africa. Oh, it's a beautiful smash. Some great angles. Oh, Paulie misses. Go ask Jared Solomon to come commentate. Sitting next to him. Paulie with the smash. Don't think he's done enough. Richard out the court. Going to get someone else on the commentary, Jared Solomon, who just got knocked out on the quarterfinals. Jared, top paddle player. Also a very good poker player. He was just in the World Series of Poker. Just getting marked up, yeah. Should be able to add some interesting insights. Jared's actually a normal partner of mine in paddle, and now we're going to try it out his hands at the commentary deck. You guys can let us know in the comments if we're doing a good job. If not, what do you want to hear more of? Let us know. Jared, welcome. What do you think of the game so far?
Thanks, man. You sound like you've been doing this your whole life.
What do you think of the game so far?
I don't know. I think it's a tough match to call. Two very different teams. Feels like Steve and Paul got a hell of a lot of power, both great overheads, and Eggy and Richard just good hands, crafty around the court, smart.
Yeah, I think that's right. So, guys, currently the score is 1-1. It's Echi to serve right now. Echi's always flamboyant in his colours here, and I think it's a great volley. You see how that's really knifing through. Oh.
Great pickup.
Paul, great finish there by Steve. Steve's obviously got one of the biggest smashes out here. I think maybe Jason will have a thing or two to say about that, but definitely one of the better smashes out here in the paddle scene.
He looks the best as well.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. He's a Schwab-looking guy, and his technique is flawless. I think a lot of guys have referred to him as the Federer of paddle. Paul misses his kick, rehearsing, trying to see where it went wrong. We had 15 all in this point, in this game. Jared, what happened in your tournament?
So we had a pretty smooth part to the quarters, and then we came across Paul and Stephen, and I think we won about 5 or 6 points in the first day games. They just don't let you breathe, these guys. I mean, they were hitting things out the court from the service line.
What would your advice be to these guys playing them? How to kind of get on top of them or find a tactic that works?
I don't think you can let them get the ascendancy easy in the point. You've got to slow down the pace of the game a little bit. You know, they like it fast. Again, they love hitting their overheads. Got to hit a lot of Jaquitas, little dinks. Just slow things down. Kind of like that, what Eggy did there.
Oh, Richard pings Paul with a good smash.
What's the verdict on Richard Burns? Is he? I mean, everyone says he's very good.
So Richard, I think, is currently the highest ranked Playtomic player in South Africa. It's actually my first time seeing him live, and so far suitably impressed. I know his mom was on the stream, so if you're back on the stream, hello, Mrs. Ashforth, if I said that surname right. But yeah, he's hitting some angles. He seems to have it all. He's got power. He's got pace. He's quite a tall and big guy, but he gets around the court unbelievably well also. So he seems to have the full package.
It's interesting that he's like this big guy who has a big smash, but he plays on the right. Generally, guys with bigger smashes tend to play on the left. I know Eggy obviously always plays on the left, and he's he loves that overhead kick smash into the
Rulio.
Yeah, the Rulio. That's it. You've really been doing this a whole life, eh?
Oh, it's a great pickup of 1Egmond. Oh, they're getting not the best bounces off the wall. Oh, and Richard with a good smash. That's a big point. They should have put that away.
A couple bad breaks though off the mesh there.
It can, but you've got to try and put your luck in your side and get that out the court, and these boys are capable of doing that. So Sol, you're the betting man, you're the gambling man. What do you put the odds on this game? Who's the favourite?
Honestly, without taking the easy road out, I'd have it as 9 to 10 the pair. I mean, I think this is one of the first times Paul and Stephen have played together.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And Eggy and Richard have been playing a bit together, but at the previous tournament, they didn't fare too well. I think they knocked down in the quarters. There was actually quite a big upset when they lost. But it's
great volley there by Steve. A lot of punch, a lot of spice on that thing, and dying off the back.
Seems like they've been playing a lot together, and they're very familiar with each other.
Yeah, and I see Steve's playing with the tactical paddle bat. I know you're using the same, and I know you're pretty impressed with that thing. So I think it's suited Steve quite well. He had a good win in the tournament last week at Racket and Ball, and he's hoping to go 2 from 2. Ooh.
It's actually mad. Stephen's going to play with 2 different partners and potentially try win 2 different tournaments.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Say a lot about him.
Look, they've got to get through a few of the Cape Townian boys, and I think Brett and was that good? He just made it. I think he missed it a little bit, but it just went in. And we're back on serve, yeah. I think it's 2-2, if I'm not mistaken.
2-2.
Oh, it's a great lob by Steve. Got himself out of trouble. And a beautiful volley by Paul. Brilliant hands by all the boys. It's a great point going on here. Oh, just ridiculous.
So good.
Absolutely ridiculous. Paulie missing the volley at the end, but a great post by Richard there to keep them alive in that point.
A lot of people use the bow out of desperation, but I've actually seen Richard use it almost as an offensive shot.
Yeah, I think the best use of the bow so far I've seen is him and Christo. They obviously use it to create angle and spin. Paulie with a great smash. Oh, what a
wow.
get.
Wow.
What a get, but Effie. That looks like it was passing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Krista, obviously a big squash background. I don't know where does Richard play where's his experience?
I think,
So
this
good.
is just unbelievable. Richard and Heerden really look to be finding their groove here, and I think they got 3 break points here. Oh no, sorry, they're on serve stall. My bad.
Lobbing beautifully, Stephen.
Yeah. Lob's a truly underrated shot in this game. You know, you always want to hold the net and paddle, and the lob just gives you the opportunity to get to that net, and a well-placed lob can be as effective as a smash. Yeah, that's a good point out by someone in the crowd. Yeah, Solly wearing Lacoste paddle shoes. I mean, never seen those around. Haven't seen Lacoste as a paddle brand, but
I've been getting quite a bit of flack about it. Someone earlier said to me they were going to wear the Gucci paddle shoes, but they just couldn't find them.
It's 3-2 on serve currently. Guys, we have 35 viewers. A lot of work for 35 viewers, so need you all to phone a friend, get them watching, guys, and tell them to come and tune in. It's unbelievable paddle, guys. I know everyone's loving paddle right now, and Paddle Central's bringing this all to you. So come on, get on the stream, tell your friends, come watch some unbelievable paddle and watch 2 newbies trying to commentate. It's half the experience.
There's one you play this tournament?
Oh, God, that is ridiculous.
There it is, a guy, like I say. I mean, he just uses us in these spots where he feels he can hit winners, and it's so tough to play against. I mean, both creates a crazy angle, and even if without the angle, the spin and the way the ball reacts coming off the glass, it's really tough to navigate.
Paulie being patient with his smash there. Oh, it's a great get, but it's a great get by Paul. Oh, the boys love 30 in this game, and they really need to find something. You can't let these guys get away from you. It's a big few points ahead of us.
Burbs, we were having this debate earlier. Do you hit all your smashes, all your hittable smashes as hard as you can, or do you stay patient, control the pace and the depth, and wait for the easy smashes before you go through?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. You can see there, a bad smash is going to get you in a lot of trouble if you don't pick your spot. And unfortunately, 1Egmond, I think, just touched the net there. So I think that brings us to 30. That was an essay. That brings us to 30 all, which is a huge potential swing because he did very well to get it and he got it out the court.
He's just not hitting it, Stephen. It's very uncharacteristic of him to be missing.
Steve, normally you can almost bank on him putting that away. And, you know, that starts to play in your mind. Paddles is much about your ability as your confidence in anything. And when you get a few of those away, you know, it can make a big difference to how you play. Ooh.
That golden point, man.
That's juice, yeah. It's golden points. It's a massive point, yeah. Are we playing short juice here, guys? Is this golden point? It's golden point. So second serve. Stephen there finally getting one away, but 1Egmond does well to reach it. That is just unbelievable hands. Wow. Brilliant.
So good.
Absolutely brilliant battle.
Big moment, big point.
Huge moments.
You know, it's strange. I mean, we played against Paul and Stephen. They got off to a fast start, and they were absolutely teeing off on their smashes. I mean, things were going all the way back onto our side of the court. Now the match is a bit tighter, high quality of opposition, and you just see like you just see how you have to almost kind of pick your spots and do a little bit more, and it makes it tougher.
Definitely. Oh, Richard teeing off and hitting it straight into the back. Boys have a little look here. They lost a break in the previous game. They're currently 2-4 down, and they're going to need a break back quickly. Otherwise, these boys have the class to see this home.
I like how Richard closes the net and comes close to the tee, and he like times it so beautifully when he.
Oh, it's a great shot there. Just elaborate on that, Jared. What do you mean?
So it's almost like he picks spots on when he feels the opponent's not going to lob or doesn't have the ability to do a good quality lob. He gets very tight on the net and he looks for the auto kill, not of a smash, just like a very
fast volley,
hard volley.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a big thing. We call it rush in the net, and it also helps, especially players who don't have as big a smash. If you want to try and get your smash out, the closer you are to the net, the harder down you can put the ball, and you can hit it straight over the back. So it's a good little tip for those who are looking to get a few more balls out the court and kill points off a bit quicker. Ooh, that's just going long by Steve there. Steve, it's a critical few moments here. If Steve can find his groove and start hitting those smashes out the court. Oh, even there. They switch sides, Paul and Steve. And Richard just finds another brilliant angle. He's so good at that.
Does it so easily. So easily. There are very few people, Burns, that can do that. Like,
yeah,
kind of a cute angle from nowhere,
Yeah, I think that's right. He plays some angles that I haven't seen many other players doing. Stephen turning beautifully with that ball, using the glass. That was a great hold there by the guys.
5-2.
No, I think we had 5-2 here, guys. Remember, we're playing first to 8. And yeah, I think this next 10 or 15 minutes could be very big in this game. Remember, we bring you the second semis after this on Paddle Central. But also, as I've said, guys, we're at the beautiful Huddle Park here, playing on the best Adidas courts in the world. Literally, these are some of the best courts you'll get. So if you are in the Linksfield area or anywhere around, I'd highly recommend coming here. Guys are having a good time. Their beer's going around. There's a great vibe. And come watch the best paddle in South Africa at the moment.
How many people would you say are watching it? Must be close to a couple hundred.
Yeah, I'm going to say 150 plus. We've even got people at the top of the stand there. There's people all around the courts, and people really enjoying it. It's actually a beautiful day. We've had some cold weather in Joburg, and it's really warm. Guys are in t-shirts and shorts. So come on down.
And Berms, it says a lot that one of the biggest golf and sporting fans I know. And you don't need to check your pocket now for the open scores updates.
Yeah, if anyone can send some open leaderboards, I know the leaders haven't teed off, but can anyone send a comment? Let us know what's happening. None of you, no golfers out there. What do you say the under-over on 1Egmond tattoos are?
It's a good question. So you can obviously see the ones on his arm and his leg.
See, we do have some there. We have some comments, but we're not really seeing the camera. It's a bit above us, but keep them coming. I think our Paddle Central boys will be looking at them and hopefully feeding us some information.
Tell me more about Paddle Central and the role they're playing in growing paddle.
So I think they're actually doing an unbelievable job, and they are going to most of the tournaments. They are streaming kind of live paddle so that everyone at home can, if you aren't able to get you, are able to watch it. I know if you go on their website, you are able to see, player profiles, player rankings. They put in a coaching section up where you can get coaching, who the different coaches are. It's just a great resource to improve your paddle. And hopefully we're going to start seeing some really cool things from them, which I think we already are. So credit to the guys involved.
Amazing.
Thinking out the box and doing things differently.
I think we've seen a beautiful display here from Egmond. How he's just controlling. He was controlling the point very nicely, moving the guys from side to side, not really hitting anything too powerful or anything too flash, just close to the walls, aiming for the fence, nice pace control.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great return. See Richard using the lob there. Egmond was out of position, gives him some time, hit a high lob, got back in position, and actually was putting Paul under pressure. A little bit of wind out here today, and sometimes those high lobs aren't so easy to deal with.
Uncharacteristic that miss from Paul. Usually very, very solid with his volley.
There's a little kid who just crossed the screen here. They've just offered him a movie contract. Did so well. Great serve there by Paulie. Right into the glass. Once again, use of the post.
It's
Beautiful.
just so difficult to deal with,
It's a lovely volley.
I think that I'm really impressed with Richard is just the variety of shots he hits.
Yeah.
It's angles, it's posts, it's
Paulie nearly with a great shot.
it's lobs, it's smashes. He just has the full repertoire.
Yeah. And I think, Richard and Eggy have started to play together quite a bit, and you can see they actually really understanding each other well. Paddle's as much about moving as a pair and working as a pair than it is about your individual performance, and I think we're starting to see it here. Boys are playing with a lot of confidence. Great free ball right there. Boys are really starting to play good paddle here. Shane Mann, I can see his comments in. Shane, one of the most unique characters out there on the paddle court.
One of the best characters out there on the paddle court.
I know Shane lost a great final to you in a singles tournament at this very venue, Sol. He was probably doing a few skips before, bit of ice bathing, and maybe
he did a full sweat class.
A full sweat class before. Shane's a great player, been injured for quite some time. The next semi, Shane, I think is between Jason and Brett Hilarides, and Siobhan and Martin. Shame, I've heard some stories that Martin isn't feeling so well. He's been vomiting a little bit. Guys still managed to get to semis, and it's unbelievable. So
I hope he's going to be able to play. I mean, it would be an absolute shame if for some reason that they couldn't get on court.
Yeah, unfortunately in this game, guys, it looks like Rich and Echi just have a little bit too much for Paul and Stephen. They're running away with it a little bit. I think we're at 7-2 here. Could be wrong.
Are there 6-6-3, eh? Do we have a score?
There's a bit of mixed kind of scores we're hearing here, and so we don't always keep the scores as well because we're commentating, but there's a bit of mixed scoring around here.
I must be honest, Bims, I'm a little bit surprised. At the start of the match, I just would have thought that Paul and Stephen would just have enough to just at least keep with them or probably win this match.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, I think, you mentioned it earlier, having a consistent partner and someone that you've got experience with, you learn so much about how the other person plays, all the indecisive shots and tough spots. It's like you get on the same wavelength, and it's so huge when it comes to to performing at a high level.
Oh, it's a good pick. There's this. Oh my God, it's just ridiculous by Richard. What hands? Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, they call that middle. There's the Stephen Luke we know.
We haven't seen enough of
I think that's been a thing. He's played a little bit in his shell, and it's good to see him get that away, because when he's playing like that, he really is a tough player to play.
And Paul as well. I mean, both these guys have the ability to knock these things out the court from anywhere, pretty much. And we just haven't seen a lot of it. They've got a couple of bad breaks off the mesh, and it can really, like we said earlier, again, can affect the confidence. That's insane. That's an insane shot. Was that a double hand?
Yeah.
You got to love a double hand, a paddle backhand winner.
Some tennis. You can see some tennis pedigree there. I don't think they've made too many mistakes there, and paddle's mostly about that. That's one of the first mistakes these two have made. They haven't allowed Steve and Paul to kind of get into this game. They've gotten everything back. They put them under massive pressure, and it's really been a brilliant performance by the boys. And yeah, it could be an interesting, if I know they played a warm-up game the other day against Jason and Brett,
Who played a warm-up game?
Echi and Richard, and they were on the wrong side of it.
What did
So
they score in that,
I think they lost in a tiebreak in the first and 6-2 in the second. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because I think they found their groove today. And I know good old Adrian Jacobs, if he's listening, is very fond of the Cape Towns better than Joburg. But I think it's about time we, the Joburg boys show a bit of face here.
I honestly think if the Joburg guys beat the Cape Town guys in the finals today, there could be a full lynch mob outside Adrian's house with signposts and banners. There may be an aeroplane flying.
Who do you think is going to be leading that charge?
There could be everyone.
Adrian, of course, one of the founders of 10x20 and quite a vocal, outgoing, very good banter, to be honest. He gets on guys, and he knows how to roll them up.
Listen, everyone knows he's full of shit, but he still gets on everyone. He grills everyone.
Well done, Paulie. That's a great point. Great fetch in there by Steve. And Paulie putting it away out the court into the parking lot. Oh, it's great hands by Paul there. It's a beautiful line.
It's the first one he's missed.
Yep.
I also think a nice, for the beginners out there, a very interesting thing he does is anytime he gets turned, Richard, and the ball's coming off the glass, you'll always see him take a little look at what the opponents are doing. Are they coming into the net? Are they rushing the net? Is one staying back? Just to get an idea and a feel and to paint a picture in his mind of what he wants to do with his next shot.
Yeah, that's 100% true. But if you're giving advice to, maybe some of the guys are a bit newer to paddle, how would you recommend them learning the glass? Because the glass is obviously vital in paddle.
I think the most common thing that people don't realize is that in paddle, because of the glass, you just have time. You've just got more time. In tennis, in all racket sports, tennis, table tennis, beach bats, anything, it's always almost instant. But with paddle, you actually have a decision. Do you want to take it immediately? And majority of the time, you'll have a second chance of it off the glass. And the majority of that time, you're actually better off heading off the glass.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that even accomplished, experienced players take a long time to get used to.
Yeah, and I think that's a very valid point. You'll see even some of the better players here in South Africa have got a lot of tennis background, and they're used to playing half volleys and hitting the ball early, and obviously they have such good hands that they can do it. But if you put on, the World Paddle Tour, you'll see these guys using the glass all the time, giving themselves that time, giving themselves the ability to adjust. So it's just such good paddle that, and Richard's going to come in and use of Chiquita off the back. He's got so much variation.
It's so good, Burns.
Oh, that is a brilliant point. Brilliant hands.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
He just makes so many good decisions, and I'm really impressed with him. He's a proper player. I mean, people can say what they want about Playtomic and the ratings and how things work, but this guy being the highest rated Playtomic player in the country, based on what we see here, you can't fault it at all.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And to head back to the point on Tom, if you guys watch Jason play, we were actually saying earlier, even his whole personality, he's very nonchalant, everything's very casual, but he plays his paddle like that as well. And that's an absolute brilliant display by Rick.
Performance. I mean, they beat Dean and Christo, I think 8-1. I think they just mauled these guys 8-2, 8-3, 8-3. I mean, that's a serious statement.
Serious statement. Guys, we'll see you for the next semi soon.
He's up to 36, eh? Well, you've got to get him on the books, eh? He's proper.